During the past years, utilities have spent millions of dollars to repair damaged underground facilities. What can be done to help control these costs and interruptions? The answer is DigSafe. Hello, I'm Arnold Zinker. Today we're going to take a look at the DigSafe law and what it means to utility employees, utility customers, and contractors. Excavators can, and indeed are required, to make one toll-free telephone call to DigSafe.
We would like a location.
DigSafe will then notify all participating utilities of location and their intention to dig. In addition, these member utilities, once notified, will mark or stake out their underground facilities so that the excavators can begin to work as soon as they arrive on site. DigSafe has been established in Massachusetts, Vermont, Rhode Island, Maine, and New Hampshire to assist excavators in preventing property damage, personal injury, and costly delays, all of which lead to greater public safety. Now let's take a closer look at DigSafe in Massachusetts. The DigSafe law was established under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 82, Section 40. This law was followed by the enactment of Chapter 164, Section 76D, which established the Public Utility Underground Plant Damage Prevention System. This means that all excavations must be reported to the DigSafe system prior to excavating, and that utility companies must respond to the reports. DigSafe was created to promote public safety, avoid costly damage to underground facilities, and to reduce cost and time of notifications. By making one toll-free call to DigSafe, excavators can meet their requirement to give 72 hours notice to the affected utilities prior to excavating. Note, the only exception to this requirement is in case of an emergency. An emergency is defined as a situation in which public safety is in imminent danger, with a threat to life and/or health, or when immediate action is required to restore essential utility service. One note concerning notification. Remember that under the DigSafe law, excavation includes trenching, blasting, demolishing, test boring, backfilling, grading, augering, pile driving, drilling, plowing in, hammering, pulling in, tunneling, landscaping, and/or any other earth-moving operations on public or private property, with the exception only of gardening or tilling the soil.
We use DigSafe to save us a lot of time and money, and to know everything's marked out correctly, and to save lives, to make sure everything goes right without anyone getting hurt. It keeps things safe.
By calling DigSafe, it saves money and time for us and the utilities companies.
Now let's talk about who is required to belong to DigSafe. Gas pipeline companies, public utilities, and cable TV companies are required to be members of DigSafe. However, keep in mind that not all agencies participate as members. Therefore, additional notifications may be necessary to prevent damage to their underground plant, also known as dig-ins on their facilities. In addition, all member companies are obligated to mark their facilities within 72 hours of notification. Lack of compliance by either the member company or the excavator could result in the DPU imposing a fine from $200 to $1,000 per incident, plus the cost of repairing any facilities damaged as a result of failing to give the required notice. It's important to know which companies are DigSafe members within your service district. As an aid to members, each DigSafe ticket also lists the member companies which have been notified for that particular proposed excavation site. The DigSafe system is funded by member companies, thereby ensuring that excavators will be able to notify all members with one toll-free telephone call. In Massachusetts, the DigSafe number is 1-800-322-4844. I'll repeat it, 1-800-322-4844. In Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Rhode Island, call 1-800-225-4977. Again, 1-800-225-4977. DigSafe operates Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Off-hours coverage exists for emergencies only. Once again, remember there may be other agencies which do not get notified, as they are not required to be members. Now let's take a look at how locations of underground facilities should be marked out for excavators. Proposed excavation sites, if possible, should be clearly marked with painted symbols or stakes showing the limits of the work area. Use of the color code as established by the APWA, that's the American Public Works Association, and recommended by DigSafe, is being utilized by member companies. For example, red for electric, orange for telephone, yellow for gas. These colors help ensure that the excavator knows exactly what he's dealing with in a given work area, or town to town. In addition to using the proper color, markings are also to be identified with ELEC or E for electric facilities, TEL or T for telephone, and CATV or C for cablevision. As an added safety precaution, many members install a warning tape above all repairs and new installations where possible to warn excavators of underground facilities below, such as gas mains, electric lines, and telephone and cablevision wires. Once a location is marked, the excavator is responsible for maintaining the markings. If the excavator cannot readily identify the markings, they can call for a remark. DigSafe, a nonprofit organization located in Burlington, Massachusetts, is staffed by highly skilled individuals who use state-of-the-art technology to coordinate and disseminate the information.
DigSafe was established to protect the underground plant of the different utility companies. It was found necessary due to a lot of damage being caused by excavators as more homes were being built, as more utilities were being put underground. When a call is received at the DigSafe Center, an operator will key into a computer system the necessary information so that the utility companies can respond to the dig site. At the end of the request, the utility companies that will be notified are given to the caller. The ticket is then automatically computerized and transmitted through phone lines to the member utility companies. At the member utility companies are teletype receiving equipment which receives this information. At this point, the utility will send their mark-out people out and mark out the underground locations.
Well, DigSafe is very important to us, especially with the substantial amount of footage we do in a day. We do a lot of cable work as well as a lot of site work. And we average almost 2,000 feet a day of pipe work. And without DigSafe, it'd be very dangerous from not only the people on the equipment, but the people behind the equipment.
If there are underground facilities, the member companies or their agents send an individual into the field with a set of plans to locate and to mark the member company underground facilities. There are several ways of marking underground facilities. Some of the most common are centerline marking, denoting the actual underground facility. Limit lines, indicating the edges of the underground facility. Flagging or staking. These are most often used on grass and soil areas where paint may be easily scuffed or worn away. Chalking may be used in extremely sensitive areas such as new sidewalks, but it does not stand up well over time. Although a safety margin has never been incorporated into the law, the DPU is considering a change in this direction. As currently under consideration, a safety zone would be designated on the surface by markings which contain the width of the underground plant facility, plus not more than 18 inches on each side. All excavation within the safety zone should be done by hand to establish the exact location of the underground plant facilities, with further digging utilizing reasonable precautions. Digging anywhere, but especially in a city environment, can be a difficult task. By using DigSafe, we can reduce risks and help prevent property damage and personal injury. Understanding the markings and using good judgment will ensure the work is done safely. Remember, if you have any doubts concerning the markings, call for an explanation and/or a remark. Remember, before digging, trenching, blasting, demolishing, boring, backfilling, grading, landscaping, or other earth-moving operations, please think of DigSafe first. Bye.